very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this first day of May 2025, which also happens to be Labour Day. Welcome back from that. And before we get into our news bulletin tonight, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. In our top stories tonight, Museveni pledges to address minimum wage and end casual work. Japanese government pledges support to Uganda in the management of refugees coming into the country. Creative industry demands for recognition and support from government. And in sports, URA shares spoils with Villa at Nachibubo Stadium. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto, and my colleague in sign language interpretation, Muhammad Mugalu. We do welcome you this evening. In our top story this evening, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has pledged to stop the issues of casual labourers, create government-supported labour centres and wake up the minimum wage bill to ensure the safety and rights of workers. The president, however, encouraged Ugandans to embrace commercial and intensive farming to create more jobs for the people in Uganda. He made the remarks during the commemoration of International Labour Day in Karamoja Sub-Region district of Nakapiripirit.
Thousands of workers from across the country gathered at Nakale grounds in Nakapilipili district to commemorate the International Labour Day, a day to honour workers and celebrate their contribution to national development. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was the chief guest. He began the celebrations by inspecting a parade formed by Uganda security agencies including the Uganda People's Defence Forces, UPDF, Uganda Police Force and Uganda Prison Services. The smartly dressed men and women in uniform performed an impressive parade in both slow and quick time. During the event, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni pledged to address the bottlenecks affecting workers' rights, including the issue of minimum wage, the continued use of casual labour instead of contracts, and the need to establish labour centres supported by the government.
Now, yesterday, I had a discussion with the workers' people. As I told you, we are going to discuss more in June, but internally within the cabinet, we are going to take up the issues also. The issue of the minimum job or minimum wage. The issue of the tripartite. No casual labor. We shall end casual labor. And we are going to lock up all those employment agencies which go between the people, the workers and the employer.
President Museveni highlighted the growth in job opportunities in the country, crediting the increase in factories, ICT and service sectors.
As they gave me from you boss. There are 1.4 million workers in the factories. You check how many they were, 1986, those who were in the factories. In agriculture, there are 3.6 million. Public service are 480,000, all the public servants. Therefore, even where we are now, the jobs in the private sector are many more than the jobs of the government.
He further encouraged Ugandans to take up commercial and intensive farming, saying it could generate employment for many more people within and beyond Uganda.
Not necessarily this, but maybe coffee, maybe other things, but intensive agriculture on small on the 1 acre. $7 million out of the 40 million. Would create 105 million jobs. There will be so many jobs that you shall not have enough Ugandans to do them.
The president also criticized the opposition for spreading negativity and failing to acknowledge the progress made in pacifying Karamoja, a region that was largely inaccessible a few years ago.
The pessimism spread by groups like Monitor. Monitor is RILA Monitor. Is wrong, and they are going to be ashamed.
The Labour Day celebrations were held under the theme consolidating on the gains of the parish development model for increased productivity and inclusive job creation. Report compiled by Philip Aguta for UBC News.
Oh, His Excellency.
Now, the advocates and employers of workers have a mixed reaction about the progress of respect of the rights of workers. Some employers say a lot has been done in upholding the rights of workers. Meanwhile, workers' unions have expressed concern over the slow progress of the rights of workers. We have more details in this report.
My name is Agnes Kim Atuoki. I'm the chairperson for women workers in Uganda who are trade unions under National Organization of Trade Unions, NOTU. So the issue of labor, one, our workers have always been given nearly free labor, because if you see what they are paid vis-a-vis, like while the minister was giving her speech, you find a worker getting only 3,000 shillings a day, which cannot even feed that person, cannot, especially in factories, cannot even give, it's not even transport enough to take a person. So you find that workers are working under hard conditions. That's why we have always, like we talked to the president, we want to have minimum wage to ensure that there is a starting pay for all our workers in the country. When the investors come, they know how much they are going to begin with, but they pay at their own will, which is not good. It's a violation of human rights. Even if you are one, when you are looking for a job, you want to say, how do I benefit? My labor vis-a-vis what I'm going to get, is it worth it? So most times our workers, their labor is like free. So they are violated, their rights are violated, they are cheated, they are denied their rights, leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, even sometimes even NSF is denied. So all these things are paining our workers. Workers with disability, they are not recognized, they are not given special action, they are not given special gadgets. You find structures cannot be accessed by some of our workers who are with disabilities.
I am Dr. Tumuhimbise Rabon, Director of Research, National Agricultural Research Laboratories, Kawanda, one of the 16 public agricultural research institutes of the National Agricultural Research Organization. The National Agricultural Research Organization in general adheres to labor laws. We are very much compliant when an employee is employed or somebody is contracted to do a job. is given a contract with clear terms and conditions of engagement, and for contracted staff, they benefit from the National Social Security Fund that we normally remit every month when we pay salaries. Then, I can say we are compliant with the national labor laws.
The Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi Ongom, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to enforcing labour laws to ensure the safety and well-being of workers across the country. Amongi made the remarks during the International Labour Day celebrations held at Nakale Playgrounds, Nakapiripirit district.
Every 1st of May is dedicated to the celebration of International Labour Day. This year, the national celebrations were held at Nakale Playground, Nakapiripirit district in the Karamoja sub-region, under the theme Consolidating on the Gains of the Parish Development Model for Increased Productivity and Inclusive Job Creation. During her speech, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development reaffirmed the government's commitment to enforce labour laws and to ensure the safety and dignity of all workers in Uganda.
There is issues of unfair termination, the issue of some of the employers rejecting the right to collective bargaining, and so they will not allow workers to form their collective bargaining association and unions within the company premises. Your Excellency, as a ministry, we are mitigating these challenges. We are enforcing labor laws. We have strengthened labor officers. We are asking local governments to recruit.
The Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Peter Lokeris, thanked President Yoweri Museveni for connecting Karamoja to the rest of the country through infrastructure development.
The area was not known where it was moving. But now, what you have done, you are the true light of Karamoja region. Let me remind you a few things you did when I was with you. There was a time we were discussing about this road that should be tarmacked. But the people were saying, what is the internal rate of return for this road? Then you heard it and say, no, I see prospects in Karamoja. Let us stimulate by making roads, and you will see the internal rate of return would increase. You see now, this road which has come, this one, when you argued and you got the money from the Islamic Development Bank.
The State Minister for Labour and District Woman Member of Parliament for Nakapiripirit, Esther Nyakun, commended the government for its continued efforts to pacify Karamoja and for introducing development initiatives aimed at improving livelihoods in the region.
In your wisdom, you listened and you acted. Under your directive, the ministry initiated joint labor and occupational safety and health inspections, beginning with all industries, business parks across the country. Allow me to report on this. We have so far inspected 62 workplaces, engaging 316 key participants, including CEOs and HR of OSH managers.
The function was attended by ministers, various government dignitaries, members of parliament, local leaders, and many others.
President Museveni has laid a wreath on the grave of the late Edward Athio Lorika in Nakapiripirit. Lorika, who died at the age of 91 in 2019, was the first ever minister for Karamoja sub-region. Athio was the first Karamojong to go to school, get a government job, and the only Karamojong who was part of the Uganda delegation that went to Lancaster to lobby for Uganda's independence. His government is pledged to continue supporting Uganda in the management of refugees coming into the country. The Japanese Parliamentary Vice Minister Eri Arafia is pledged today during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, at her office in Kampala.
The number of refugees from DRC and South Sudan is increasing daily, with over 1.8 million refugees. In 2023, Uganda hosted a refugee summit, all aimed at helping Uganda in managing the refugee crisis, but this support is not forthcoming.
The money we receive is not enough to support them even with food, because the support from other partners has dwindled over the time. Because we are told by our supporting partners that because of other wars across the globe, other countries tended to pull out. And we are told by June, those other partners will have pulled out completely.
This afternoon, the Japanese Parliamentary Vice Minister, Eri Arifia, met the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja. The two leaders discussed matters of mutual interest of the two sister nations, including refugees. Eri Arifia, on behalf of the Japanese government, pledged to support Uganda in the management of refugees.
But when you tell them about what we've done to assist refugees, for example, or what we've done to give humanitarian aid tangibly, for example, everybody, at least in my constituency, is supportive of it. Even when our own economy might be of concern, even if their own lives might be of concern, Japanese people are always on the side of humanitarian affairs and peace and stability. These are things that I know I have complete support of in my constituency. And I think we know as government that we have supportive of the people. And in that regard, what you've done in this region to support refugee communities is selfless and admirable. And anything we can do to continue supporting you in achieving peace and stability, we're here for.
The Prime Minister Robin Nabanja thanked the Japanese government for the continued support Japan is giving Uganda.
Diplomatic ties have flourished, and Japan's presence in Uganda has been marked by meaningful engagements that benefit both our people in our two sister countries. Because this is evidenced by the following outcomes. One, we got a grant extended by Japan for the region of Karamoja, and this includes the provision of fertilizers.
The Japanese minister, who was accompanied by the Japanese ambassador to Uganda, Takuya Sasayama, and other Japanese officials, hailed Uganda for her efforts in fostering peace in Africa.
Japan appreciates your country's contribution to peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, which is indispensable to realize free and open Indo-Pacific, an important pillar for us. We consider Uganda as an important partner in this regard. Cooperation with Uganda is becoming more important than ever for the peace and stability of the international community.
The Japanese government recently increased its support to Uganda to a tune of $6.8 million, and a number of development projects have been done, including the construction of Jinja Bridge, Kampala Clock Tower flyover, and currently a new Karuma Bridge is being constructed by the Japanese, among many other projects. The meeting was also attended by the Minister in charge of Science, Technology and Innovations, Monica Mosenero.
We have had a very warm collaboration with Japan in terms of science, technology and innovation. We worked with Japan to train our first set of space engineers and launch our first satellite.
So you'll meet him when you're in Japan, but he's here to personally invite you.
We grow a lot of coffee.
I love coffee.
Here is coffee.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Here is tea. We also.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
UBC News Tonight. Now, teachers have been urged to bridge the gap between themselves and their learners as a key step in rebranding their schools. Speaking at a retreat organized by the Uganda Muslim Teachers Association for Muslim primary school head teachers and their deputies, Mr. Rwamasaka Prosper, Manager of Education Services at Kampala Capital City Authority, highlighted the urgent need to address leadership challenges in schools.
Improve the quality of education in Muslim-founded schools. Education leaders are calling for a renewed focus on leadership, collaboration and values-based learning. Rwamasaka Prosper, Manager of Education Services at Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA, says mismanagement is a major factor contributing to the decline in performance across several institutions.
The single most important issue to handle in all our education institutions is leadership and management. Where we have head teachers who are competent managers, there will be a lot of difference. We need to equip our head teachers with the proper management skills and competences so that they can steer the schools.
Rwamasaka made these remarks while addressing school principals and their deputies from Muslim communities during a retreat organized by the Uganda Muslim Teachers Association at Chibuliko Primary Teachers College.
When a teacher is very knowledgeable about the job, he will enjoy doing the job.
Namirembe Ajiri, Executive Director, UMTA, emphasized the need for collaboration among Muslim schools to improve the quality of education. She says the initiative aims to encourage Muslim schools to uphold their educational values and work collectively to address challenges.
We have seen so many gaps in the institutions through the assessments that we have done, the monitoring, the support supervision that we have done in the schools on the ground. So as UMTA, we want to have those continuous professional trainings, development trainings to these heads of institutions to see that they become better leaders in the institutions, and maybe that's how together we can improve the quality of education in our schools.
School principals identified key challenges during the retreat and proposed collaborative solutions to drive sustainable improvement.
Absenteeism of both teachers and learners. I think the institutions should ensure strict laws on absenteeism to the teachers.
We should also learn how to lob for funds from outside community.
With renewed focus and joint efforts, Muslim educators are now taking active steps to transform the primary education sector and ensure a brighter future for learners under their care.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabote deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. And we'll leave no smile behind.
Special announcement from the Baseline Education Census 2025. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, is conducting the Baseline Education Census 2025. This exercise will cover all learning institutions in the country for both government and private establishments, namely pre-primary, primary, secondary, vocational, and higher institutions of learning. The Baseline Education Census exercise data collection is being conducted in a phased manner, starting with Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, comprising of districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso. The rollout to all other regions will commence at the beginning of second term. The Baseline Education Census collects information on learners, teachers, and school facilities to facilitate planning and policy decisions in the education sector. Uganda Bureau of Statistics appeals to the general public, heads of schools and institutions, as well as the local government authorities to cooperate with the BEC enumerators. In a special way, UBOS appeals to all parents of the learners to support the exercise by availing learners with their correct date of birth, national identification number, and learner's identification number. For more information, please call 0772 933 628 or 0743 787 189 from Dr. Chris Mukiza, Executive Director.
Amazina ganje ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangurire urwo mu kuzana star 278 ash ngafuna message eriko ndio muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri yafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ko nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. Now, in more news this evening, the family of a 2-year-old boy in Luero accused Project Orphanage Uganda, a non-government organization, of deliberately holding up their son at the orphanage facility, yet they only took him for treatment. However, Project Orphanage Uganda refutes the accusations, saying they have the child legally and will hand over the child to the family until the anticipated time of his health improvement of 6 months.
Project Orphanage Uganda, based in Izirobwe, Luwelo district, is an organization that was established in 2011 to rescue vulnerable children and help those whose rights have been violated.
Care of the vulnerable children. But we don't only take care of the children, we also take care of the elderly camps. Basically, our main target are the children. And in the children, we have a package that is called Education for the Nation.
Despite the immense support to children and families, there is a family of a 2-year-old boy accusing the organization of holding up that child, yet they only took him for treatment.
nga bangamba baleete poliisi nze banteeke munda bo balabirire omwana.
The mother of the then malnourished child, whose names are withheld, Ewan Kulthum Namyalo, and the grannies willingly took the child to Project Orphanage Uganda. However, they allege the child later didn't receive the adequate support from the organization.
Nengamba dokita, nemuga dokita, bampe ebbaluwa ensiibula wano.
Nga tutuuse okwemulugunya kwaffe olw'eddwaliro ery'Okatimba Nampunge okutuwambako muzzukulu wange.
Looking at the condition the child was in, needed long-term stay in the hospital. But then I think the mother had somewhere else where she wanted to go.
According to Project Orphanage Uganda, they seek for legal terms to all the children under their custody, but wondered why the boy's family would turn against them.
We notified the probation officer who is in charge of children to do what? About the baby. One time she also came by, I checked on the baby. So the baby had to stay to receive medication.
It's gotten to our understanding that the mother is on the run, as the grandmother had earlier on been arrested by Luwero police over neglect.
Omuwala n'avaayo ffe twali omwana awalala kakati nali ndi awo nga bazze bakoze ki bazze ne bankwata ne bansiba.
Wakati mu kumugjayo omwana baamubanga abamubyeyo bubbi. Kati wakati mu kutekinga up interest balabe ensonga ki yabadisizayo omwana maama w'omwana yabula. Even up to now maama w'omwana takola ki? Talabika. Kabeere taata we talabika. Kati olowooza nti yali badani omutuufu okumuwanga ne maama w'omwana yeekwese talabika.
Amwaiva Njuko for UBC.
The Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, has reiterated the importance of integrating motor third-party insurance as a form of compensation in the event of accidents. He emphasized that such insurance not only provides financial relief to accident victims, but also promotes responsible driving on Uganda's roads.
These remarks in response to the alarming rise in border accidents across the country.
The motto of more third-party insurance into the road transport system helps ensure that accident victims receive timely compensation while promoting responsible driving behavior. I would appeal to the insurance family to highly educate our border riders about the use of third party and why it is important for them to have it and what it can help in the event of an accident. The biggest number of crashes on our roads is borders, and I think they're the least insured group on our roads.
His comments came during the 14th prestigious Insurance Agents Awards 2024, organized by the Uganda Insurers Association, held at Hotel Africana. Under the theme, Driving a Resilient Agency Distribution Channel for Sustained Insurance Growth, the event celebrated excellence and innovation in Uganda's insurance sector.
We're also very happy that we've had a number of Jubilee Health agents who've been recognized tonight. The best agent is from Jubilee in terms of health insurance policies, and this is very, very rewarding, and we hope that it will motivate the rest of the agents to work harder.
General Katumba further underscored the critical role insurance plays in national development, particularly in cautioning citizens during unseen road accidents. The night also belonged to Jubilee Insurance, which dominated the awards by winning in multiple categories.
Resilience, I've been able to change people's lives, so I'm very humbled and honored to have won this award. And special thanks to my bosses in Jubilee Insurance that have invested a lot in the digital world.
Their achievements stand as a testament to the growing impact and importance of insurance agents in driving Uganda's economic resilience and safety. Mutonyi Hilda, UBC.
Now, Uganda Chamber of Energy and Minerals has repositioned itself as a national leader in advancing clean energy and responsible mineral development. The shift aims to drive Uganda towards a greener, more sustainable future. And this was during the dinner and an official close of the 10th Energy and Minerals Convention in Kampala.
Uganda Chamber of Energy and Minerals Chairman Agri Ashaba says the sector is committed to promoting clean energy and responsible mineral practices for the benefit of all Ugandans. He notes that the Chamber's new direction aligns with Uganda Vision 2040, the National Energy Policy and the Third National Development Plan.
It was important for us as a chamber to be able to capture the vision of the country, but also because we understand that petroleum is just one of the many sources of energy for a country. We also decided that to be able to meet the requirements and the demand of our members, we needed to rebrand.
The event was officiated by the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, and drew key stakeholders from government, the private sector and development agencies.
We are going in the world of innovation, in the world of integration, in the world of good regulation, in the world of a sector that supports economic development of this country. I can only stand here to say I pledge my total support to all the activities that add value to my government, activities that add value to my sector.
At the dinner, Uganda Chamber of Energy and Minerals honored its founding members for their contributions over the past 15 years, marking the close of the 10th Energy and Mineral Convention at the Serena Conference Center.
Congratulations to Uganda Chamber of Mines, Energy and Mines, and happy 15-year anniversary. Now,
Agri Ashaba described the rebranding as a bold and strategic shift, reaffirming the Chamber's commitment to sustainable energy and mineral development. With the rural electricity access still below 20%, he emphasized the urgency for inclusive and scalable clean energy solutions.
Knowing that energy security is at the cornerstone of any development of any country, we as the chamber, as private sector, we've taken on this mandate to be able to spotlight opportunities around it, lobby for policies that can be able to attract investment, but also create as many opportunities as possible to our members.
Uganda Chamber of Energy and Minerals pledged to strengthen partnerships with the government, investors and communities, focusing on innovation, capacity building and technology transfer.
Let us have an organization, but let it be properly structured. So we formed a constitution, refined membership, and had a very strict corporate setup. And what has really helped us, I must say, is very strict accountability. Our secretariat has always remained the same.
The rebranding coincided with UCEM's 15th anniversary celebrations held alongside the two-day convention at the Kampala Serena Hotel.
Now, in Kamwenge district, refugees and host communities are taking charge of their economic futures thanks to a new initiative by ADRA Uganda. Under its REAL project, the organization has launched 7 village savings and loans federations to boost food security and financial resilience. We have more.
The Resilience Enhancement for Adapting to Sustainable Livelihoods REAL project is a 2-year program funded by the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Novo Nordisk, the Fahu Foundation and ADRA International. It targets 8,400 people to 5,880 refugees and 2,520 members of the host communities in Rwamwanja and Chaka refugee settlements. Jerry Chiwanuka, the project manager for REAL, says the project is about saving and growing together through federations to enable communities build capital, start businesses and have access to better services.
So the intention of the project is to build the capacities of these VSLs to be able to engage in various viable economic activities so that the participating VSLAs can be able to garner a lot of a portfolio in terms of investments, but also in terms of loans.
ADRA International found them struggling, but they have learned climate-smart farming, marketing, and financial planning, which has impacted the savings group members.
Like 86 million, someone can actually access more money, like 5 million, to invest into a business and able to actually grow together.
Robert Tugume, the circle chairperson, and Florence Nirarashete, who are both beneficiaries, highlighted on how they used the loan to start business, which has changed their financial well-being.
Less focus on the vision and the purpose of the federation.
Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, the Minister for Health, has launched a pilot for vaccine last mile distribution to improve vaccine access in the country. Holistic approach to the last mile delivery of cold chain in the country is to make sure that there is seamless homogeneity service delivery in the country. The government and partners have invested in the capacity at national medical stores with excess of 2,800 cubic millimeters of storage capacity and can hold commodities at 2 to 8 degrees.
%15 of our health facilities receive vaccines directly from the district vaccine stores, with many relying on unsustainable self-pickup arrangements due to lack of adequate transport means and lack of prioritization of vaccine distribution by the district leadership. Therefore, building on national medical stores' successes, and there are very many, you have heard some of them, and the mandate to procure, store, and distribute vaccines, this vaccine last mile distribution aims at 1, ensuring equitable and timely vaccine distribution; 2, the last mile by directly delivering vaccines to the lower level health facilities. What this means is that Health Center 3s, Health Center 4s will receive vaccines directly.
What we'll bring to the table will be economies of scale. We are going to be operating this centrally from here and coordinating it amongst the districts in the country, and we hope to bring down the individual cost of delivery to the individual health facilities across the country. At the end of the day, we expect to see some degree of uniformity of service across the country, improved service. We are trying to benchmark and learn from the districts that have done well, also extend our expertise to try and make sure that there is a better quality of service across the country. And at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure that we reduce on the burden of the zero-dose children that we have seen across the country.
The little challenge I foresee will be at times of refilling. I don't think we already have enough fleet to do 3 trips to a facility in a month or a week even. Some facilities are big consumers. So that is the only challenge I foresee, but I'm sure by the time we've done the big thing, the small things will also be sorted. And the other one is what I've seen so far, because we are a pilot district, is that when these vans come, they have to move with some of our staff to the field. They call the chain staff. I think we needed to take into consideration a small SDA for them, because they move, no lunch and no transport when they get back in the evening.
You may not go and serve the world.
We used to run, but most of the time we were running away from something. But nowadays, everything seems different. People still run, but they are running towards something. They run to test their limits, to break new records. And when we do it right, we inspire others.
The inaugural Coffee Marathon, uplifting rural coffee women, 24th May at Africa Coffee Park, Ntungamo.
Come, let us run.
To register, dial *217 *413 hash. Choose option 4. Or scan the event QR code or visit the website to choose the race options. Brought to you by Inspire Africa Group.
Special announcement from the Baseline Education Census 2025. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, is conducting the Baseline Education Census 2025. This exercise will cover all learning institutions in the country for both government and private establishments, namely pre-primary, primary, secondary, vocational, and higher institutions of learning. The Baseline Education Census exercise data collection is being conducted in a phased manner, starting with Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, comprising of districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso. The rollout to all other regions will commence at the beginning of second term. The Baseline Education Census collects information on learners, teachers, and school facilities to facilitate planning and policy decisions in the education sector. Uganda Bureau of Statistics appeals to the general public, heads of schools and institutions, as well as the local government authorities to cooperate with the BEC enumerators. In a special way, UBOS appeals to all parents of the learners to support the exercise by availing learners with their correct date of birth, national identification number, and learner's identification number. For more information, please call 0772 933 628 or 0743 787 189 from Dr. Chris Mukiza, Executive Director.
Techno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Techno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Techno Camon 40 today at Techno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Okero. Hey, Kajambo. Mukasa. Where are you going with the family? Eh? Oh no. We are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register. And I need to make sure my name is on it. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections together. What about these young men? I can see you. These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote. Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife so that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you on the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Welcome back from that break, and now into business. Sector players in Uganda's creative industry say they are laboring in vain and are now demanding recognition and support from government to bolster their contribution to national development. Now, while government attention remains focused on the so-called ATM sectors, the agro-industrialization, tourism, mining and ICT, players in the creative space feel neglected and undervalued, despite the industry being a low-hanging fruit with immense potential to generate revenue and drive both social and economic transformation.
Uganda's creative industry is rich with untapped potential, an avenue capable of transforming the economy and create employment for thousands, if not millions of talented youth. The creative industry encompasses sectors of the economy that involve the generation, production, and distribution of goods and services that rely on creativity, talent, and intellectual property. Rachel Magola, an artist and the chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary Forum for Creative Industries, says the country has witnessed firsthand the power of creativity to drive economic growth. However, the industry continues to struggle for recognition and the much-needed support from policymakers to enable sector players to thrive.
When you're scattered in different ministries, you're going to find that the creative economy is the unfunded priority in all the ministries because it is not a core function. So agriculture will not take care of the creative economy. Trade will not, because that's not their core function.
Analysts from the public and private sector, along with the development partners, agree that strengthening Uganda's creative landscape will require coordinated and sustained efforts.
The creative economy has the opportunity to leapfrog and support a growth generation, and that's the business that we want to support. Young people thriving and earning income at scale and being supported, and that's where the link to government very importantly comes in, because there's a certain point where absolutely you need enabling policies at government to do business.
I think there's so much data out there now. Now there's need for us now to bring this data closer, make a good case, and say that this is the potential that this can actually contribute to the national GDP. Those are the numbers that the PSST, Ministry of Finance, is looking for.
The recently released Moonshot 8 report outlines actionable strategies to elevate the status of the creative industry in Uganda and across the African continent. This includes legal and policy reforms, robust financing frameworks, enhanced market access tools, and capacity building at all levels of governance.
There are so many young people operating within this space that have products and innovations that can compete at global levels. We now begin to speak about trade, we speak about AFCFTA, and so this is why part of the report really speaks to the intersectoral readiness, the various sectors that come into play in supporting the creative economy.
Despite the ongoing rhetoric from the government about the value of the creative sector,
you are visible as artists, and I already mentioned this. Don't feel that you're not visible. Your talent is indeed recognized. We treasure you as you continue to take out more works on products of your labor. Your creativity is your capital, your economic capital, and let no one ever diminish your worth.
What do we promise? We promise the following: equitable remuneration. Equitable because sometimes, because you are an asset, so those who have money invest in you, then they can easily enslave you.
However, the reality on the ground tells a different story.
I have a song which plays every day on radio. I'm not earning a penny for it being played on radio. So all this wipey, what? It's all rhetoric. The artist, even me who could go and bang their doors and get my money, there's nothing. The taxation regime in Uganda is quite prohibitive to any kind of business. We need to do things that support the growth. But when you tax somebody out of business, I don't know what your plan is. And the creative economy especially, when you look to the filmmakers, the amount of money taxed on cameras, on anything that goes onto a camera, is very prohibitive. So we need to look in there. And the biggest problem is it is not uniform. You will see in the news a Chinese company coming here, and they come in tax-free and will get free land. We hope government is going to give the creative economy free land, and we build the hubs that we want to see.
Examples of creative industries include fashion design, music and performing arts, film and television, visual arts and craft, architecture, publishing, among others.
At the global contribution to GDP, it's immense, right? It's in trillions of dollars, but Africa's take on it is so limited. There's a gap, right? We know that globally it is one of the major contributors to GDP. But Africa's play in that space is so limited because of understanding of what is the creative economy.
According to UNCTAD Creative Economy Outlook and other global benchmarks, Africa currently holds only 1.5% of the global creative economy, with just 0.6% of the global royalty collections and a mere 9% of global creative employment. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
UBC News Tonight takes a short break and we return with sports news.
Agriculture is Uganda's economic backbone, employing about 70% of the working population and contributing 20% of the GDP. As the world becomes a digital global village, ICT has proven to increase productivity in the agricultural value chain. UCUSAF, through its Strategic Plan 3, recognizes the importance of access and usage of ICT-based tools, information and knowledge for farmers by providing them the needed skills to live, learn, work and participate in a digital society.
We came up with a project which we took to UCSAF, and we're happy that UCSAF supported it. That project is called ICT for Farmers. What do we get from ICT for Farmers? We managed to skill up to 100,000 farmers.
Welcome back from that break, and now into sports. The defending champions of the Bet Power Futsal Super League, Park FC, will face an intense battle with Kisenyi FC tomorrow night at the old Kampala Futsal Arena, now as they hope to remain in the title race. Malaika has more on this report.
The Bet Power Futsal Super League is reaching its winning climax with just 2-game week remaining. Holders Park FC are trailing league leaders Mango City by a point.
We are playing Census this Friday. My former team, where I first joined futsal from. It will be an entertaining game, it will be an intensive game, whereby we shall see a lot of activity, skills, and a lot of goals.
In order to stay in the title race, the Rangers are in need of a must-win game against their rivals in Kisenyi FC on Friday.
We are strong, we are still strong, and we are still the defending champion. We don't fear anything. So this Friday we are playing Kisenyi, while Mango is having just a walkover, as we are playing Sonjus Parks. So that's what does not make us fear a lot. First, we know we are strong. We shall come and win the game. Yeah.
With only 2 games remaining, Mango Stormers have accumulated 51 points after 20 match days, while Park FC are on 50. If the Rangers lose on Friday night, Mango will officially be league champions. Naba Chibidorin Malaika, UBC News.
Thank you, Navachivi Malaika. Now, the Caring Hearts Premier League Academy, hosted by Caring Hearts Schools in Kachidi Town Council, Wakiso District, has reached its thrilling climax with 4 teams advancing to the finals. The tournament, which has attracted large crowds, saw enthusiastic fans cheering for both boys and girls teams in a spirited display of local football talent.
Among the spectators were notable figures including Uganda Cranes players such as Steven Subuga, currently based in New York, USA, Serunjoji George and Geoffrey Nyola, who came to inspire and watch the young talents in action. In the girls' division, Aston Villa defeated Liverpool 2-0, while Chelsea edged past Manchester City 1-0. On the boys' side, Liverpool narrowly beat Arsenal 1-0, and Manchester City triumphed over Manchester United with the same scoreline. Steven Nsuga encouraged the young athletes to take their talent seriously as a path to personal transformation, financial success, and a brighter future.
Kakati abantu benaku zino tebafuna time bikaseera babaira kusoma nibatakimanya nti ne sports is part of education. Tosobola kubeera buli kaseera ng'osoma kati balina okufaayo nnyo okulaba nti no they practice, they train and develop their skills.
Amba kintu kimu nti mwe mufunye omukisa nti nno mufunye ababatendeka naye ffe tetwafuna omukisa ogwo okutendekebwa tetwagufuna.
Pastor Paul Musisi, the founder of Caring Hearts School and the visionary behind the tournament, urged players to seize the opportunity to nurture their skills and build a better life, reflecting on how such avenues were unavailable during his youth.
It's about fitness. Naye mmwe mulina okuba nga mukikola n'omanya nti ono musambi wange tatraininga, bw'aba tatraininze tetujja muwaaki match. As simple as that. Mukole records, nga mmwe mwekolera records. Really, we are just empowering you to know exactly how the world is running.
As soon as this season is over, we shall release the schedule for the new season, Pastor Musisi added. The finals promise a gripping end to an unforgettable season of passion, determination, and the rising spirit of youth football. Cayenne Faith, Jamil Sekaja, for ABC.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Muhammad Mugalu on sign language interpretation. Now, on behalf of the team working tirelessly behind the scenes, we do wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
After the completion of the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, the UPDF Engineering Brigade shifted their focus to a new challenge, the construction of the Chambogo training pitch. With their reputation for excellence preceding them, the team approached the project with enthusiasm and dedication.
My name is Lieutenant Alan Jonathan Kalyango, an engineer in the UPDF Engineering Brigade. We are in Chambogo. We work on this project of redevelopment of Chambogo training pitches for CHAN and AFCON competitions. I held a position of a site engineer on this project. I'd like to first take you through the hierarchy, the contractor's hierarchy on this project. We have Brigadier Bekunda Vesije as the joint staff engineering, as well as the project manager of this project. We have Colonel James Regawa as the commander engineers brigade, as well as the overseer of this project. We have Lieutenant Colonel Engineer Peter Sekukidemuka as the project engineer of this project. We have Captain Asim Patrick, who is the assistant project engineer, and me, Lieutenant Alan Kayango, as the site engineer on this project. This project, I'll take you through the commencement date. We started 18th June 2024, and the initial expected completion date was supposed to be 18th December 2024. Initially, it was for preparation for CHAN competitions, which were to take place in February 2025. But unfortunately, due to delay of funds and unforeseen circumstances that happened, it was postponed to August 2025.